How to create a sustainable fitness routine you love. Have you ever started a new fitness plan, full of excitement, only to have it fizzle out a few weeks later? You've bought the gear, made the promises, and maybe even seen a little progress. But then life gets busy, motivation disappears, and the guilt creeps in. You're not alone. The problem isn't your willpower, and it's not your body. The problem is the approach. We've been taught that fitness has to be punishment, a grueling hour at the gym, a diet of bland food, a constant battle against our own bodies. This book is about a different way. It's about unlearning the rules that made you fail and discovering a simple, powerful truth. The most effective fitness routine is the one you actually enjoy doing. This isn't about a 6-week transformation. It's about building a practice that gives you energy, builds your confidence, and becomes a source of joy in your life, for life. Forget no pain, no gain. It's time to find your movement, build your system, and create a routine you truly love. Let's begin. Before we dive in, I have a quick question for you. Think back for a moment. What is one type of exercise or workout you've tried in the past that you absolutely could not stand? Was it running on a treadmill, a specific class? Let me know in the comments below. There's no wrong answer, and I think we'll all be surprised by how much we have in common. Chapter 1. The Great Reframe. Fitness isn't punishment. Welcome to the true beginning of our journey together. This first chapter is arguably the most important one in the entire book, because before we talk about what to do, what exercises to try, or how to schedule your week, we need to do some foundational work. We need to go into the architecture of your mind and gently, carefully, remove the broken beliefs that have been holding you back. Everything you build from this point forward will rest upon the foundation we lay right here, right now. If your foundation is cracked, if it's built on ideas of shame, guilt, and punishment, then any routine you try to build on top of it will eventually crumble. But if we can build a new foundation, one of self-compassion, joy, and empowerment, then what you build will be unshakable. It will be sustainable. It will be yours. For years, maybe even decades, you have been receiving messages about fitness and health. You've seen them on magazine covers in the grocery store checkout line, promising six-pack abs in 6 weeks. You've seen them on social media, with influencers showing off their impossibly perfect bodies after a killer workout. You've heard them from friends, family, and maybe even doctors, all talking about what you should be doing. All of these messages, however well-intentioned, have likely contributed to a single toxic idea that has taken root in your mind. The idea that fitness is a form of punishment. It's a penalty for the food you ate. It's a war against the parts of your body you don't like. It's a grueling, joyless chore that you must endure to earn the right to feel good about yourself. I am here to tell you that this idea is the biggest lie in the health and wellness industry. It is the very thing that has been setting you up for failure time and time again. So in this chapter, we are going to perform a great reframe. We are going to identify the mental traps that have ensnared you and learn how to dismantle them one by one. We're going to give you a new lens through which to see movement, your body, and yourself. This isn't just about positive thinking. This is about rewiring your brain with truths that are not only kinder, but are also backed by science and proven to lead to long-term success. So take a deep breath. Let go of the baggage from every failed New Year's resolution and every gym membership that went unused. You are here now, and this is a fresh start. Let's begin with the most common trap of all. It's called the all-or-nothing trap, and it is the #1 killer of sustainable fitness routines. You know the voice. It's the one that tells you, I have to get to the gym for a full hour or it's not even worth going. It's the voice that says, I ate a cookie, so my whole day of healthy eating is ruined. I might as well just eat the whole box. It's the voice that convinces you that if you can't follow your new ambitious 5 days a week workout plan perfectly, then you are a complete failure and should just give up entirely. This mindset, this black and white thinking, is a cage. It allows for no flexibility, no grace, and no room for the beautiful, messy reality of being a human being. Let's imagine a woman named Sarah. Sarah decides she's finally going to get in shape. She's filled with a burst of motivation. She buys new workout clothes, creates a killer playlist, and designs a workout schedule that a professional athlete would find challenging. Monday, she crushes it. She spends an hour and a half at the gym, feeling sore but victorious. Tuesday, she wakes up and her car won't start. By the time the issue is sorted out, she's missed her window for the gym. The all-or-nothing voice immediately pipes up. See, you've already failed. You missed a day. The whole week is a wash. You can try again next Monday. And so Sarah doesn't go on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. That single unpredictable life event completely derailed her entire effort, all because her mindset told her that anything less than perfection was equivalent to zero. Does this sound familiar? Most of us live our lives this way when it comes to fitness. We believe that for an action to count, it has to be a grand, heroic gesture. We think in terms of intense, hour-long sessions, not in terms of small, consistent actions. But here is a fundamental truth that will change everything for you. Consistency will always beat intensity over the long run. The grand heroic effort that you do once a month is infinitely less powerful than the small simple effort that you do almost every day. Think about it in another context. Imagine you wanted to learn to play the guitar. Would it be more effective to practice for 8 hours straight one Saturday a month, or to practice for 15 minutes every single day? The answer is obvious. The daily 15-minute practice would build muscle memory, strengthen your calluses, and steadily improve your skills. The 8-hour marathon session would likely just leave you with sore fingers and a feeling of frustration. With most of the learning forgotten by the next month, your body and your health work in exactly the same way. There's a powerful concept called the compound effect, which is often talked about in finance, but applies perfectly here. The idea is simple. Small, smart choices, made consistently over time, lead to massive, incredible results. If you were to get just 1% better at something every day for a year, you wouldn't end up 365% better. Because of the power of compounding, you would end up nearly 38 times better than when you started. The reverse is also true. Getting 1% worse every day doesn't leave you just a little worse off. It grinds you down to almost nothing. The daily choices you make, no matter how small they seem, are the steering wheel of your life. The 10-minute walk you take during your lunch break doesn't feel like much. It doesn't leave you breathless and drenched in sweat. But if you do that every work day, that's 50 minutes a week. That's over 43 hours of walking in a year. That's the equivalent of walking a marathon. And then some just from a few minutes during your lunch break. Your body doesn't know you're doing a workout. It just knows it's moving. And that movement is sending signals to your cells, your heart, your lungs, and your brain that you are alive and well. So how do we escape this trap? How do we put this into practice? The first step is to consciously and deliberately lower the bar for success. I want you to give yourself a new rule. The rule is this: something is always better than nothing. Your goal is no longer to complete a perfect hour-long workout. Your new goal is simply to do something. On days when you feel energized and have plenty of time, fantastic. Go for that hour-long workout if you enjoy it. But on days when you are tired, stressed, and overwhelmed, the goal is not to do nothing. The goal is to do the something. What does something look like? It could be 5 minutes of stretching while you wait for your coffee to brew. It could be doing a set of squats and push-ups against the wall while you're on a phone call. It could be putting on your favorite song and dancing around your living room for 3.5 minutes. It could be walking up and down the stairs in your house or apartment building for 10 minutes. These small actions might feel insignificant. The all-or-nothing voice in your head will mock them. It will say, that doesn't count, that's not a real workout. Your job is to thank that voice for sharing and then gently ignore it, because you know the truth. You know that these small actions are not about burning a massive number of calories in one go. They are about something far more important. They are about maintaining the habit. They are about casting a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you choose to do something instead of nothing, you are reinforcing the identity of a person who moves their body. You are keeping the momentum going. A great practical tool to use here is what author James Clear calls the 2-day rule. The rule is simple. Never miss your habit 2 days in a row. Life will always get in the way. There will be days you are sick, days you are traveling, days where you are emotionally drained. On those days, it's okay to miss. Give yourself that grace. But the 2-day rule provides a safety net. It prevents one missed day from turning into a spiral of inactivity. By committing to never missing twice, you ensure that you get back on track immediately. The first day is an anomaly. The second day is the start of a new negative habit. So you had a crazy day and did nothing. Fine. But tomorrow you do something. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. You do not let it slide for 2 days. This simple rule can be the difference between a minor blip and a complete derailment. Another powerful strategy is to define your minimum viable workout. This is the absolute bare minimum you are willing to do on your worst day. It should be so easy that you almost can't say no to it. For example, your minimum viable workout could be 1 push-up or put on my running shoes and walk to the end of the driveway. The point isn't the physical benefit of that single action. The point is to overcome the inertia of starting. Often, once you've done that 1 push-up, you might think, well, I could probably do a few more. Once you've walked to the end of the driveway, you might think, I might as well walk around the block. But even if you don't, you have won. You showed up. You kept the promise to yourself. You defeated the all-or-nothing mindset. So, I want you to take a moment right now and decide what your minimum viable workout will be. What is an action so small, so simple, that you could do it even on your most exhausted day? Write it down. Put it on a sticky note on your mirror. This is your secret weapon against the voice of perfectionism. Your journey to a sustainable fitness routine doesn't start with a heroic leap. It starts with a single manageable step, and then another, and then another. It's built on the foundation of consistency, not the fleeting fireworks of intensity. You are not a machine. You are a human. And the most human, most compassionate, and most effective thing you can do is to embrace the power of good enough. Because good enough done consistently will always lead to incredible results. Now let's move on to the second mental block, which is closely related to the first. It's the tyranny of the word should. Think about how often this word dictates your choices when it comes to fitness. I should go for a run because it's good for cardio. I should lift weights because everyone says you need to build muscle. I should do high-intensity interval training because I read an article saying it burns the most fat. We are drowning in a sea of shoulds. These shoulds come from magazines, from social media, from well-meaning friends, and from an industry that profits from making us feel like we're not doing enough or not doing the right thing. The problem with the shoulds is that they are based on external pressure, not internal desire. When you do something because you feel you should, you're operating from a place of obligation, not a place of joy. And let me ask you, how long can you sustain a habit that feels like a chore? How long can you force yourself to do something you genuinely dislike before your willpower inevitably runs out? Not very long. Willpower is a finite resource. It's like a muscle that gets tired with overuse. If you rely solely on willpower to drag yourself to a workout you hate, you are setting yourself up for burnout. Let's go back to our friend Mark. Mark has decided he wants to lose some weight. All his life, he's heard that running is the best way to do it. He sees runners in his neighborhood looking fit and determined. So he decides he should become a runner. He buys expensive running shoes, downloads a Couch to 5K app, and forces himself out the door 3 times a week. And he hates every single second of it. His knees ache, his lungs burn, and he finds the entire experience mind-numbingly boring. He sticks with it for 3 weeks, fueled by pure grit. But by week 4, the excuses start piling up. It's too cold. It's too hot. He's too tired. Soon he stops altogether, feeling like a failure. He concludes that he's just not cut out for fitness. But Mark's problem wasn't his body. It wasn't his willpower. His problem was that he was trying to force a square peg into a round hole. He was following a should instead of listening to himself. What Mark didn't consider is that there are hundreds of other ways to move his body. Maybe Mark would have loved the strategic thinking and social aspect of a tennis match. Maybe he would have found a deep sense of peace and strength in a yoga class. Maybe he would have enjoyed the rhythmic, powerful feeling of lifting weights in his garage while listening to his favorite podcast. But he never gave himself the chance to find out because he was blinded by the should of running. This is your official permission slip to let go of all the shoulds. I want you to release the idea that there is one best type of workout. The best workout for you is the one you will actually do consistently. And the one you will do consistently is the one you don't hate. In fact, it's the one you might even, dare I say it, enjoy. The shift we need to make here is from external validation to internal motivation. We need to stop asking, what does the world say I should do, and start asking, what does my body actually want to do? What kind of movement sounds fun or interesting or satisfying to me? This requires a period of exploration. It requires you to be a scientist in the laboratory of your own body. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to experiment with different forms of movement and simply gather data. The data you are collecting is not about calories burned or miles logged. The data you are collecting is your own feeling. To do this, I want you to create something I call a movement menu. Just like a menu at a restaurant, it's a list of options you can choose from. I want you to sit down with a piece of paper or open a new note on your phone and brainstorm every possible way you can think of to move your body. Don't filter yourself. Don't judge any of the ideas. Let them flow. To help you get started, let's think in categories. First, there's the grounding outdoors. This category includes things like going for a hike on a local trail, riding a bicycle around your neighborhood, kayaking or paddleboarding on a lake, rollerblading on a paved path, or even just taking a brisk walk through a beautiful park. The benefit here is twofold. You get the movement and you get the well-documented mental health benefits of being in nature. Second, there's the rhythmic indoors. This is for those who love music and flow. Think about online dance classes, from hip-hop to salsa to ballet. Think about yoga or Pilates, which connect breath to movement. Think about martial arts like karate or tai chi, which are as much about mental focus as they are about physical discipline. Third, there's the playful competitor. This is for you if you are motivated by games and social interaction. Consider joining a local recreational sports league for basketball, volleyball, or soccer. Try out a racket sport like tennis, badminton, or the incredibly popular pickleball. Even just throwing a frisbee in the park with a friend falls into this category. The beauty of these activities is that you get so caught up in the game, you forget you're even exercising. Fourth, there's the strong soloist. This is for the introvert or the person who loves to plug in their headphones and get into their own zone. This includes traditional weightlifting at a gym, swimming laps at a pool, using bodyweight exercises like push-ups and squats at home, or trying something more adventurous like bouldering or rock climbing at an indoor gym. Your list might include all of these or none of these. Maybe on your list is gardening, vigorous house cleaning, or building a bookshelf. The point is to open your mind to the vast world of movement that exists beyond the confines of a traditional gym. Your body was designed to move in a myriad of ways. It can push, pull, twist, bend, crawl, jump, and run. Forcing it to do only one of these things, especially one you dislike, is a disservice to its incredible potential. Once you have your movement menu, the next step is to start sampling. Just like you wouldn't order a 5-course meal of something you've never tried, you don't need to commit to a new activity for life. The commitment is small. You are just going to try things. Use the 5-minute rule we talked about earlier. Commit to trying a new activity from your menu for just 5 minutes. If you absolutely hate it after 5 minutes, you have full permission to stop with no guilt and cross it off the list. But if after 5 minutes you feel a spark of interest, keep going. And as you try these things, pay close attention to the data. Ask yourself questions after each session. How did that feel in my body? Did I feel strong? Did I feel awkward? Did I feel energized afterwards, or completely drained? Did I find my mind wandering, or was I fully engaged in the moment? Did I have fun? This last question is the most important one. The presence of joy or even just mild enjoyment is the single greatest predictor of whether a habit will stick. You are searching for the activities that light you up, even just a little bit. This process of ditching the shoulds and finding your joy is about reclaiming your autonomy. A psychological concept called self-determination theory states that for humans to be intrinsically motivated, they need 3 things: autonomy, which is the feeling of being in control of your own choices; competence, which is the feeling that you are capable and getting better at something; and relatedness, which is the feeling of connection to others. When you force yourself to go running because you should, you have no autonomy. When you hate it and feel like you're bad at it, you have no competence. But when you choose to try a beginner's rock climbing class because it looks interesting, autonomy, and you successfully make it to the top of a small wall, competence, and you get a high five from another climber, relatedness, you have hit the motivation jackpot. You have created a positive feedback loop that makes you want to come back and do it again. So, your task is to become a detective of your own joy. Let go of what you think fitness is supposed to look like. It doesn't have to involve a treadmill. It doesn't have to involve a dumbbell. It doesn't have to involve a drill sergeant screaming at you. It only has to involve you, moving your body in a way that feels good to you. This is the path to a routine you don't have to force yourself to do, but one you genuinely look forward to. This is the path to sustainability. This leads us directly into our third major reframe, which is a natural extension of ditching the shoulds. It's time to completely redefine what a workout even is. For most of us, when we hear the word workout, a very specific image comes to mind. It's an image of a gym. It involves special clothes, specific equipment, and a designated block of time, usually 30 to 60 minutes. We've been conditioned to believe that for physical activity to be legitimate, for it to count, it must fit into this narrow, predefined box. And this belief is incredibly limiting. It's another form of the all-or-nothing trap. It makes us think that if we can't get to the gym for a proper workout, then there's no point in moving at all. We completely discount the hundreds of opportunities for movement that are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. I want to introduce you to a concept that is well known to exercise scientists, but criminally underappreciated by the general public. It's an acronym, NEAT, which stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. Now, I know that sounds like a boring technical term, so let's break it down into simple language. Thermogenesis just means the production of heat in the body, which is how we burn calories. Activity is, well, activity, and non-exercise is the key part. So NEAT is simply all the calories you burn from all the movement you do that is not formal structured exercise. It's the energy you burn from walking to your car, from typing at your desk, from fidgeting your leg while you sit, from washing the dishes, from playing with your dog, from carrying your groceries into the house. It is the secret unsung hero of a healthy, active metabolism. Think about it this way. You might do a 30-minute workout on the elliptical and you feel great about it. And you should. That's a wonderful thing to do for your body. During that time, you might burn, say, 300 calories. But what about the other 23.5 hours of your day? For many of us, especially those with desk jobs, those hours are almost completely sedentary. We sit to eat breakfast, sit in the car to commute, sit at a desk for 8 hours, sit on the way home, and then sit on the couch to watch TV in the evening. In this scenario, that 30-minute workout is just a small blip in a sea of stillness. Now, consider a different person. Maybe this person doesn't have a formal gym routine, but they walk their dog for 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. They choose to take the stairs at work instead of the elevator, adding up to 10 minutes of climbing throughout the day. During their lunch break, they take a 20-minute walk outside. When they get home, they spend 30 minutes gardening or doing active housework. Throughout the day, they make a conscious effort to stand up and stretch every hour. None of these individual activities feel like a workout, but when you add them all up, this person has been active for well over an hour and a half. The cumulative calorie burn from their NEAT throughout the day could easily exceed the calories burned in that single 30-minute elliptical session. Research from the Mayo Clinic and other institutions has shown that the amount of NEAT a person engages in can vary by up to 2,000 calories a day between two people of the same size. Let me repeat that because it is staggering. Two people with similar body types can have a difference in their daily energy expenditure of 2,000 calories based almost entirely on these small, non-exercise movements. This is why you might know someone who seems to eat whatever they want and never gains weight. It's often not because they have a fast metabolism in some magical sense, but because they are simply a person who is constantly in motion in small ways. They are a fidgeter, a pacer, a stander-upper. Their NEAT is naturally high. The amazing news is that you have complete control over this. You can consciously choose to increase your NEAT, and it is one of the most powerful and sustainable ways to improve your health, manage your weight, and increase your energy levels, all without ever stepping foot in a gym. It's about shifting your mindset from I need to schedule a 1-hour block to exercise, to how can I weave more movement into the hours I'm already living? So let's get practical. How can you start to increase your NEAT today? The key is to look for opportunities to break up long periods of sitting and to choose a more active option whenever one is available. Let's brainstorm a list. I challenge you to pick just 2 or 3 of these to try this week. First, let's tackle the workplace, since that's where many of us are most sedentary. If you work in an office, make a rule that you never sit for more than 1 hour at a time. Set a timer on your phone or computer. When it goes off, just stand up. You can stretch for a minute. You can walk to the water cooler and back. If you need to talk to a colleague, walk over to their desk instead of sending an email. If you have a phone call that doesn't require you to be at your screen, pace around your office while you take it. These are called walking meetings, and they are a fantastic way to get steps in. And of course, the classic advice holds true. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Even if you work on the 10th floor, maybe you can take the elevator to the 8th floor and walk the last 2 flights. It all adds up. Next, let's look at your commute and errands. The simple act of parking your car at the far end of the parking lot, instead of circling for 10 minutes to find the closest spot, can add thousands of steps to your week. If you take public transportation, maybe you get off 1 stop early and walk the rest of the way. When you're carrying groceries, instead of trying to carry all 12 bags in one heroic arm-straining trip, take a few more trips back and forth from the car. It's more movement. Now, for your home life. This is where you can get really creative. When you're watching television, use the commercial breaks as movement breaks. See how many jumping jacks or squats you can do before your show comes back on. You could even just stand up and march in place. When you're cooking dinner, put on some music and dance around the kitchen. When you're cleaning the house, do it with a little more vigor. Put some energy into it. You'll get a cleaner house and a healthier body at the same time. Instead of putting things on the bottom of the stairs to take up later, make a trip up right away. These are tiny little choices that, when compounded over a year, make a monumental difference. By embracing NEAT, you are fundamentally changing your relationship with activity. You are moving away from the idea that exercise is a separate, isolated event that you have to cram into your day, and toward the idea that movement is an integrated, natural, and constant part of your life. This is liberating. It means that on a day you can't get to your planned yoga class, you haven't failed. You can simply make an extra effort to increase your NEAT for the day. You can take the dog for an extra long walk, or spend an hour tackling that messy closet you've been meaning to clean out. It all counts. Every single step, every stretch, every single movement is a deposit in your health bank account. Redefining the workout means recognizing that life itself is the gym, and your opportunities to move are everywhere. Finally, we arrive at the deepest and most profound reframe of all. It's the one that underpins everything else we've talked about. We need to change the fundamental relationship you have with your own body. For so many of us, this relationship is adversarial. We treat our bodies like an enemy to be conquered, a lazy beast to be whipped into shape, or a flawed project to be fixed. We focus on the parts we don't like, the stomach that isn't flat enough, the arms that aren't toned enough, the number on the scale that isn't low enough. We use exercise as a weapon in this war, a punishment for our perceived flaws. This mindset is not only emotionally damaging, but it's also counterproductive to our physical goals. When you approach movement from a place of hatred or punishment, your body is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol. Chronic stress can lead to inflammation, fat storage, especially around the abdomen, and a host of other health problems. You are literally working against yourself. You are trying to build a house while simultaneously setting it on fire. It cannot and will not work in the long run. The great reframe here is to begin to see your body not as an enemy, but as an ally. It is your partner in this life. It is the only home you will ever truly have. It is an incredible, intelligent, self-healing machine that is doing its absolute best to support you every single day, regardless of how you treat it. Your heart beats over 100,000 times a day without you ever having to think about it. Your lungs breathe for you while you sleep. Your immune system fights off invisible invaders to keep you safe. Your body is a miracle, and it deserves your respect, your gratitude, and your care. When you can make this shift, exercise is no longer a punishment. It becomes an act of gratitude. It is a way of saying thank you to your body for all that it does. Moving your body is not about fixing something that is broken. It is about celebrating what is working. You are not exercising to earn the right to eat. You are exercising because it feels good to inhabit a body that is strong, capable, and full of energy. This might sound like a subtle mental shift, but its effects are monumental. Let's look at the internal dialogue. The old adversarial voice says, "Ugh, I have to go to the gym to burn off that pizza I ate. My stomach is so disgusting." The new allied voice says, "I'm going to go for a walk today to fill my lungs with fresh air and help my body digest my food. It feels so good to move after a meal." The old voice says, "I have to lift these weights to get rid of my flabby arms." The new voice says, "I'm going to lift these weights to build strength in my arms, so it's easier to carry my groceries and pick up my kids." I love feeling capable. Do you feel the difference? One is rooted in shame and obligation. The other is rooted in self-care and empowerment. One leads to burnout. The other leads to a lifetime of joyful movement. So, how do we cultivate this new relationship? It's a practice just like any other. It starts with awareness. Start to notice your self-talk, especially around exercise and food. When you hear that critical, punishing voice, don't judge it. Just notice it. And then, gently, try to reframe it. Ask yourself, how could I say this in a way that is kinder? How would I speak to a friend I love and respect? You would never tell your best friend that their stomach is disgusting and they need to go punish themselves at the gym. So why would you ever speak to yourself that way? Give yourself the same grace and compassion you so freely give to others. Another powerful practice is to start focusing on what your body can do, rather than just what it looks like. This is about shifting your goals from being purely aesthetic to being performance-based and feeling-based. Instead of saying, "I want to lose 10 pounds, you could set a goal like, "I want to be able to do 10 push-ups on my toes," or "I want to be able to hike to the top of that hill without getting out of breath," or simply, "I want to have more energy in the afternoons to play with my kids." These goals are so much more motivating because they are connected to your life, to your experiences, and to your capabilities. And as you achieve them, you build a deep, unshakable confidence that has nothing to do with the number on the scale. You start to see your body as this amazing instrument that allows you to experience the world, and you become inspired to take care of it so it can serve you well. A simple daily practice you can start right now is a body gratitude scan. You can do this in the morning when you wake up or at night before you go to sleep. Just take a minute to mentally scan your body and thank each part for what it does. You can say, "Thank you, feet, for carrying me through the world today. Thank you, lungs, for breathing for me. Thank you, hands, for allowing me to work and create and hold the people I love." It might feel silly at first, but this practice slowly and surely rewires your brain to see your body through a lens of appreciation instead of criticism. When you truly begin to see your body as your ally, everything changes. You start to provide it with movement, not because you hate it, but because you love it. You start to nourish it with healthy food, not because you want to deprive it, but because you want to give it the fuel it needs to thrive. The entire paradigm of health and fitness shifts from a battle to be won into a beautiful, lifelong dance of partnership and self-care. This is the foundation. Escaping the all-or-nothing trap and embracing consistency. Ditching the shoulds and finding your own joyful movement. Redefining the workout to include all the small moments of your day. And learning to treat your body like a cherished friend, not a sworn enemy. If you can truly internalize these 4 reframes, you will have done the hardest part. You will have created a mindset that makes sustainable fitness not just possible, but inevitable. You are ready to build. Chapter 2. The exploration phase. Finding your joyful movement. In the last chapter, we did the essential work of clearing the ground. We tore down the old rickety structures in our minds that told us fitness had to be a punishment, a chore, a rigid set of rules that we were destined to fail at. We laid a new foundation, one built on the empowering truths that consistency beats intensity, that good enough is a powerful tool, that all movement counts, and that our bodies are our greatest allies. Now, with that clean, solid foundation in place, the real fun begins. This chapter is where we get to play. This is the exploration phase. Imagine you are a world-class chef, but for your entire life you have only been allowed to cook with salt and flour. You've done your best, but the results have been bland, uninspiring, and you've grown to resent the time you spend in the kitchen. Now, someone has opened the doors to a global pantry. They have shown you vibrant spices, fresh herbs, exotic fruits, and savory sauces you never knew existed. Your entire perspective on cooking would change. It would transform from a duty into a creative adventure. That is what we are about to do for Movement. Many of us have been trying to create a fulfilling fitness life using only the bland ingredients of the treadmill and the dumbbell rack, because that's all we thought was on the menu. But the pantry of Movement is vast, diverse, and filled with flavors you haven't even imagined yet. This chapter is your permission slip to become a curious explorer, a scientist in the laboratory of your own body. Your mission is not to find the perfect workout or the one that burns the most calories in the shortest amount of time. Your one and only mission is to find forms of movement that bring you a spark of joy. Joy is the most sustainable fuel in the universe. Willpower is like a small battery pack that runs out quickly, but joy is a solar panel, constantly recharging you every time you step into the sun. When you find an activity you genuinely enjoy, you don't need to force yourself to do it. You will find yourself wanting to do it. The entire battle is won. So, how do we begin this exploration? We start by opening up the menu and seeing all the incredible options that are available to us. We will learn how to sample these options without pressure or commitment. We will learn to listen to the subtle and powerful feedback our body is giving us, tuning into its wisdom instead of the noise of external metrics. And finally, we will gain a deeper understanding of our own unique fitness personality to help guide us toward the activities where we are most likely to thrive. Forget everything you think you know about what exercise is supposed to be. Open your mind, get ready to experiment, and let's find what moves you. Let's begin by creating your movement menu. I want you to get out a piece of paper or open a new document on your computer. We are going to brainstorm, and the only rule is that there are no bad ideas. As we go through these categories, I want you to write down anything that sounds even remotely interesting. Don't censor yourself. Don't let that critical voice in your head say, "Oh, you could never do that," or "That's not for people like you." Every activity is for people like you. Every activity is for anyone willing to try. Our first category on the menu is the grounding outdoors. Movement in nature has a profound, almost magical effect on our well-being. There is a growing body of scientific evidence supporting what we intuitively know to be true. Being outside is good for us. Studies have shown that spending time in nature, a practice the Japanese call Shinrin-yoku or forest bathing, can lower your heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and decrease the production of the stress hormone cortisol. It's a two-for-one deal. You are moving your body and calming your mind simultaneously. For many people, exercising outdoors feels less like a workout and more like an escape. The changing scenery, the fresh air, and the feeling of the sun on your skin can make the time fly by. So what are the options here? The most accessible for almost everyone is simply walking, but let's elevate it. Instead of walking on a treadmill facing a wall, find a local park, a nature trail, or even just a beautiful street in a neighborhood you've never explored. Put on a podcast or an audiobook, or leave the headphones at home and just listen to the sounds around you. Hiking is just walking with a bit more elevation and a better view. You don't need to be an expert mountaineer to be a hiker. Start with a beginner trail. Websites and apps like AllTrails can help you find trails near you, filtering them by difficulty and length. If you want to pick up the pace, there's trail running, which adds an element of challenge and focus as you navigate roots and rocks. Or how about cycling? Riding a bike is a fantastic low-impact cardiovascular workout that allows you to cover much more ground and explore further. You could also explore water-based activities. Kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding are incredible workouts for your core and upper body, and there is a unique tranquility to being out on the water. In the winter, you could try snowshoeing or cross-country skiing. Even something as simple as gardening, which involves digging, lifting, bending, and stretching, is a wonderful way to move your body in the fresh air. Don't let perceived barriers stop you. If you think, I don't live near any mountains. Remember that a hike can be a walk through a local forest preserve or a state park. If you think, I don't own a kayak, look for local rental places. Many parks and lakes have them available for a small hourly fee, which is a perfect way to try it out. The grounding outdoors is about connecting your movement to the world around you, turning your exercise into a small adventure. Our second category on the movement menu is the rhythmic indoors. This category is for those who are moved by music, who love the idea of finding a state of flow, and who enjoy the structure of a class or a practice. These activities often have a strong mind-body connection, requiring you to be present in the moment. This can be a form of moving meditation, a way to leave the stresses of your day behind. The most obvious choice here is dance. And the world of dance is incredibly diverse. You could try a high-energy Zumba class, which feels more like a party than a workout. You could explore the elegance of a beginner ballet class, which builds incredible strength and posture. There are hip-hop classes, salsa classes, ballroom dancing, and tap dancing. Thanks to the internet, you don't even need to go to a studio. There are thousands of free dance tutorials and follow-along workouts on YouTube. You can turn your living room into a private dance floor. Let go of the fear of looking silly. The joy of dance is not in perfect execution, but in the feeling of moving your body to a beat you love. Another pillar of this category is yoga. Yoga has exploded in popularity for a reason. It is a multifaceted practice that can improve flexibility, build strength, and calm the nervous system all at once. There are many different styles of yoga, so if you try one and don't like it, don't write the whole practice off. A fast-paced athletic vinyasa class is a world away from a slow, deep-stretching yin yoga class. Again, there are endless resources online to sample different styles for free from the comfort of your home. Pilates is another fantastic option, focusing on building deep core strength, which is the foundation for all other movement. Then there are the martial arts. Practices like karate, taekwondo, or judo offer a structured path for progress, with belt systems that provide a clear sense of competence and achievement. They teach discipline, focus, and self-defense skills, all while providing a fantastic full-body workout. For something less combative, there is Tai Chi, often described as meditation in motion. Its slow, deliberate, flowing movements are excellent for balance, stability, and stress reduction. The beauty of the rhythmic indoors is that it engages your brain in a different way than repetitive cardio. You are learning a skill, whether it's a dance step, a yoga pose, or a martial arts form. This process of learning keeps you engaged and provides a sense of progress that is independent of what your body looks like, which is incredibly motivating. Our third category is the playful competitor. This is for anyone who is motivated by games, strategy, and social connection. For people in this category, the idea of working out can be a drag, but the idea of playing a game is exciting. The genius of these activities is that the exercise is a byproduct of the fun. You get so caught up in trying to score a point or win the game that you don't even realize how hard you're working. Think about team sports from your childhood. Many communities have adult recreational leagues for sports like basketball, soccer, volleyball, or even kickball. This is an amazing way to combine your fitness with your social life, which makes you much more likely to stick with it. You're not just showing up for yourself, you're showing up for your team. If joining a league feels like too much of a commitment, consider racket sports. Tennis, badminton, racquetball, or squash are fantastic workouts that you can play with just one other person. They are like a high-intensity interval workout disguised as a game, with short bursts of sprinting and quick changes of direction. And right now, the fastest-growing sport in America is pickleball. It's often described as a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. It's played on a smaller court, so it's less demanding on the body than tennis, and it's incredibly easy for beginners to learn, making it very accessible and social. Don't underestimate the power of simple play. Throwing a frisbee in the park, shooting hoops by yourself at a local court, playing tag with your kids. These things absolutely count. They are movement. They are a celebration of what your body can do. If the idea of competition stresses you out, reframe it. The competition can be with yourself, simply trying to get a little better each time. Or it can just be about the cooperative act of playing with another person. The point of the playful competitor category is to tap into that childlike sense of fun, to find a movement that makes you laugh and lose track of time. Our final category on the menu is the strong soloist. This is for the person who loves the feeling of getting stronger, of pushing their own limits, and who might prefer to work out alone, in their own world, with their own music or thoughts. This category is about the deep, satisfying feeling of physical capability. The classic example is weightlifting. The gym can be an intimidating place, but it doesn't have to be. Most gyms offer an introductory session with a trainer who can show you how to use the equipment safely. The feeling of progression in weightlifting is very clear and motivating. The first time you are able to lift a weight that seemed impossibly heavy a month before is an incredible confidence boost. And the benefits of strength training are immense for everyone. It builds lean muscle, which boosts your metabolism. It increases bone density, which is crucial for healthy aging. And it makes every aspect of your daily life easier, from carrying groceries to moving furniture. If the gym isn't your scene, you can build incredible strength at home with very little equipment. Bodyweight exercises, also known as calisthenics, use your own body as resistance. Think of push-ups, squats, lunges, planks, and pull-ups. There are endless variations to make these exercises easier or harder, so they can be adapted for any fitness level. Another fantastic solo activity is swimming. It is a full-body workout that is incredibly low impact, meaning it's very gentle on your joints. The feeling of gliding through the water can be very meditative, focusing only on your breath and your stroke. For those looking for a bit more of a challenge, there is bouldering or indoor rock climbing. This is like a puzzle for your entire body. You have to use strength, flexibility, and problem-solving skills to figure out how to get to the top of the route. It is so engaging for your mind that you often don't notice the intense physical effort until you're back on the ground, with your forearms burning in the best possible way. The strong soloist is about the internal journey. It's about showing up for yourself, by yourself, and proving to yourself what you are capable of. It's about building not just physical strength, but mental fortitude. Now that we have filled out our movement menu with all these possibilities, it might feel a little overwhelming. This is where our next tool comes in. It is the single most effective tool for overcoming procrastination and the fear of trying something new. It's the 5-minute rule. We touched on this in the last chapter as a way to combat the all-or-nothing mindset. But here we are going to use it specifically as an exploration tool. The rule is this: when you want to sample an activity from your movement menu, you only have to commit to doing it for 5 minutes, that's it. You set a timer and you begin. If at the end of those 5 minutes you are miserable and you hate every second of it, you have my full and unconditional permission to stop, with zero guilt. You can check that item off your list and move on. You haven't failed, you have succeeded. You have gathered valuable data. The data point is, I do not enjoy this. That is a victory for self-awareness. Here's why the 5-minute rule is so powerful. The hardest part of any new behavior is starting. The activation energy required to get off the couch, change your clothes, and begin can feel like a monumental task. Your brain is wired to conserve energy, and it will invent 1,000 reasons why you should just stay where you are. But the idea of doing something for just 5 minutes is so small, so unintimidating, that it bypasses your brain's resistance. It's almost too easy to say no to. Anyone can do almost anything for 5 minutes. What happens in practice is often magical. You commit to just a 5-minute walk. You get your shoes on and head out the door. After 5 minutes, your timer goes off. But now you're outside. The air is nice. Your body is warmed up. You might think, well, I could probably go for another 5 minutes and then another. The 5-minute commitment was just the key to start the engine. Once the car is rolling, it takes much less energy to keep it rolling. So how do you apply this to your exploration? Look at your movement menu. Pick one thing that sparks your curiosity. Now, define the 5-minute version of it. If you wrote down yoga, the 5-minute version is not to drive to a studio and take a 90-minute class. The 5-minute version is to search 5-minute yoga for beginners on YouTube and follow along in your living room. If you wrote down weightlifting, the 5-minute version is not a complex hour-long gym session. It's doing 2 sets of bodyweight squats and 2 sets of push-ups against a wall. 5 minutes. If you wrote down running, the 5-minute version is to put on your shoes and jog slowly for 2.5 minutes away from your house and then turn around and walk back. 5 minutes. Use the 5-minute rule to systematically work your way through your list. Think of yourself as a food critic at a buffet. You're not there to eat a huge plate of everything. You are there to take a small taste of many different dishes to find out what you like. The 5-minute rule is your tasting spoon. It removes the pressure of commitment and replaces it with a spirit of light-hearted curiosity. This process should be fun. It's a treasure hunt, and the treasure you are looking for is your own enjoyment. As you are sampling these different activities, we need to introduce the next crucial skill of the exploration phase. This is the art of listening to your body. For too long, we have been taught to silence our body's feedback. The no pain, no gain mentality told us to push through discomfort. Fitness trackers taught us to value external data, like calories burned and heart rate zones, over our own internal feelings. We are going to reverse this. During this exploration phase, your internal feeling is the only metric that matters. To help you with this, I want you to create a very simple movement journal. This doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a notebook or a note on your phone. After each 5-minute or longer session of a new activity, I want you to take just 2 minutes to answer a few simple questions. Think of this as your data collection. The questions are: 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did I enjoy that activity in the moment? Be honest. A 1 is, I was watching the clock the entire time. A 10 is, I completely lost track of time because I was having so much fun. 2. How did my body feel during the movement? Did it feel strong and capable? Did it feel awkward and uncoordinated? Did I feel any bad pain, which is sharp, stabbing, or joint-related? Or did I feel the good burn of muscle fatigue? 3. How do I feel emotionally and energetically right now after finishing? Do I feel more energized than when I started, or do I feel completely drained and depleted? Do I feel calmer and less stressed? Do I feel a sense of accomplishment? 4. Is this an activity I feel curious about trying again? This is a simple yes or no. Let's walk through an example. Sarah, from our last chapter, decides to try something from her movement menu. She tries a 5-minute online Zumba class. Afterwards, she sits down with her journal. For question 1, she gives it an 8. She felt a little silly at first, but once she got into it, she was smiling. For question 2, her body felt awkward. She wasn't getting all the steps right, but there was no bad pain. For question 3, she feels surprisingly energized and a little giddy. For question 4, she writes a definite yes. The next day, she tries something else, a 5-minute attempt at running. For question 1, she gives it a 2. She hated it. For question 2, her shins started to hurt almost immediately. For question 3, she feels defeated and out of breath. For question 4, she writes a firm no. Look at the power of this data. Sarah is no longer judging herself. She is not a failure for not liking running. She is a successful scientist who has discovered a crucial piece of information about her own preferences. The journal helps her to objectively see that Zumba is a path worth exploring further, while running is a path she can joyfully abandon without guilt. This process of tuning in to your own feelings is a radical act of self-respect. You're honoring your own unique experience above any external should. Your body has a deep wisdom. It knows what nourishes it and what depletes it. Your job is simply to learn how to listen. After you have spent some time exploring your movement menu, you will start to see patterns emerge in your journal. You will start to get a clearer picture of your unique fitness personality. This is the final step in our exploration phase. Understanding your personality type helps you to narrow down the vast world of options to the ones that are most likely to fit seamlessly into your life. Let's go through a few common archetypes. You might be a pure type, or you might be a combination of a few. First, we have the social butterfly. If you are this type, you are energized by being around other people. The idea of working out alone in your basement sounds like a punishment. You thrive on group energy, accountability, and camaraderie. The relatedness piece of motivation is huge for you. If this is you, you should prioritize activities that are done with others. Group fitness classes like spinning, boot camps, or CrossFit could be perfect for you. Joining a recreational sports team would be a fantastic fit. finding a running or cycling club in your area can provide both social connection and a regular schedule. Even just finding one workout buddy to go to the gym or take walks with can make all the difference. For you, the people are as important as the movement itself. Next, we have the lone wolf. This is the opposite of the social butterfly. You use your movement time to decompress, to process your thoughts and to recharge your social batteries. For you, fitness is a sacred, solitary practice. The idea of having to make small talk at a group class sounds exhausting. If this sounds like you should honor your need for solitude. Activities like swimming laps, running or hiking with a podcast, lifting weights at an off-peak time in the gym, or following an at-home yoga or bodyweight program are all wonderful options. Your challenge is to protect this time. You need to communicate to your family and friends that this solo time is a non-negotiable part of your self-care. Then there is the data scientist. You love numbers, tracking, and seeing tangible evidence of your progress. You are motivated by charts, graphs, and hitting new personal records. The competence piece of motivation is your primary driver. If this is you should lean into your love of data. Activities that are easily quantifiable, like running or cycling where you can track distance, pace, and time, are a great fit. A fitness tracker or a smartwatch can be your best friend. In the gym, keeping a detailed logbook of your weightlifting sessions, noting the exercises, weights, sets, and reps, will be incredibly satisfying. For you, data is not about judgment, it's about motivation. Seeing the trend line of your progress over weeks and months will keep you hooked. We also have the Zen Seeker. For you, the mental and emotional benefits of movement are just as, if not more, important than the physical ones. You are looking for a way to quiet your mind, reduce stress, and feel more present in your body. Your movement is a form of meditation. If this is you should gravitate towards practices with a strong mind-body connection. Yoga, with its focus on breath and awareness, is a natural choice. Tai Chi, with its slow-flowing movements, is another excellent option. Even a simple walk in nature, done mindfully without headphones, where you focus on the sensation of your feet on the ground and the sights and sounds around you, can be a deeply restorative practice for you. Finally, there is the adventurer. You're bored by routine. The thought of doing the same workout day in and day out makes you want to give up before you even start. You crave novelty, variety, and new challenges. If this is you should not try to force yourself into a rigid routine. Instead, you should build a routine of variety. Your goal is to try something new on a regular basis. You could buy a pass that gives you access to multiple fitness studios in your city, allowing you to try a kickboxing class one week and a Pilates class the next. You could make a list of all the hiking trails within a 1-hour drive and make it your mission to explore a new one every weekend. Activities like rock climbing or learning a new skill-based sport would be a great fit, because the challenges are constantly changing. For you, the key is to embrace your love of novelty and make it the cornerstone of your fitness plan. Understanding your personality is not about putting yourself in a box. It's about empowering yourself with self-knowledge. It helps you to stop fighting against your own nature and start working with it. It's the final piece of the puzzle in this exploration phase. So, to recap this chapter, we have opened up the vast and exciting movement menu, giving you permission to think far beyond the traditional gym workout. We have equipped you with the 5-minute rule, a simple and powerful tool to sample these new activities without pressure. We have taught you the art of listening to your body through a movement journal, making your own internal feelings the most important metric of success. And we have helped you to identify your own fitness personality, guiding you toward the types of activities where you are most likely to find that sustainable, powerful fuel of joy. You have done the work. You have been a scientist and an explorer. You now likely have 1 or 2 or maybe even a handful of activities that spark something in you. You have found a potential source of joyful movement. This is a monumental achievement, one worth celebrating. You have found the what. Now we need to move on to the how. How do we take this spark of enjoyment and integrate it into the fabric of your real busy life? How do we protect it, nurture it, and make it an automatic, unbreakable part of who you are? That is the work of the next chapter. It is time to become the architect. Chapter 3. The Architect. Building your unbreakable routine. In our last chapter, we were explorers. We ventured into the vast, exciting world of movement with a spirit of curiosity and play. We sampled from the great movement menu. We used the 5-minute rule to taste test new activities without pressure. And most importantly, we learned to listen to our own bodies, making joy our compass. Through that process of discovery, you have likely identified one or more activities that don't feel like a punishment. They feel good. They feel energizing. They feel, even just a little bit, like fun. You have found your spark. Now, our role changes. We are no longer just explorers, drifting on the winds of curiosity. We must now become architects. An architect takes a beautiful vision and designs a concrete, stable structure that can withstand the tests of time and the storms of life. A spark is a wonderful thing, but a spark can easily be extinguished by a busy week, a stressful day, or a dip in motivation. Our job in this chapter is to take that precious spark of joy you have found and build a protective, supportive structure around it. A structure so well designed that your movement practice becomes an automatic, unshakable, and effortless part of your identity. This is the chapter where we get practical. We are moving from the what to the how. Many people believe that the key to long-term fitness is motivation. They think they need to feel inspired and in the mood every single day. But this is a myth. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. It shows up when you're well-rested, when the sun is shining, and when you're feeling good about yourself. But it vanishes at the first sign of trouble, leaving you stranded. You cannot build a sustainable practice on the fickle foundation of motivation. You must build it on the bedrock of systems and habits. A system is what carries you through on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. A good system makes the right choice the easy choice. It removes friction. It automates your decisions so that you don't have to rely on your limited daily supply of willpower. As the author James Clear famously wrote, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." In this chapter, we are going to design a world-class system for your movement practice. We will learn the powerful technique of habit stacking to seamlessly weave your new routine into your existing life. We will learn to schedule our commitments to ourselves with the same respect we give to our professional obligations. We will master the art of the good enough workout to ensure that we never break the chain of consistency. And finally, we will become masters of our own environment, designing our physical spaces to make showing up for ourselves the most natural choice in the world. So, grab your blueprints. It's time to build. Our first and most powerful architectural tool is a concept called habit stacking. This technique comes from the work of Stanford professor B.J. Fogg and was popularized by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. The idea is brilliantly simple yet profoundly effective. Instead of trying to create a new habit out of thin air, you attach or stack your desired new habit onto a pre-existing, deeply ingrained habit. Your brain is already full of these strong neural pathways for things you do every day without thinking. Waking up, brushing your teeth, making your morning coffee, taking off your shoes when you get home. These existing habits are like sturdy anchor points. By linking your new movement habit to one of these anchors, you are leveraging the power of a habit that is already on autopilot. The formula is simple. After my current habit, I will my new habit. This formula provides a clear, unambiguous cue for your brain, or the completion of your current habit becomes the trigger to perform your new one. It removes the guesswork and the decision-making. You no longer have to ask yourself, when should I do my workout today? The decision has already been made. The cue is built into your day. Let's look at why this is so much more effective than a vague intention. Many people start with a goal like, I want to start stretching more. It's a nice idea, but it's not a plan. It has no cue. When is it supposed to happen? Where? The brain doesn't know what to do with this fuzzy instruction, so it usually does nothing. Now let's apply the habit stacking formula. The goal becomes, after I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will do 5 minutes of stretching on the mat I've placed next to the coffee maker. See the difference? It is specific, it is clear, and it is linked to something you already do without fail every single morning. The act of pouring coffee becomes the starting pistol for your stretching routine. To implement this in your own life, you first need to identify your potential anchor points. Take a few minutes to walk through your day in your mind and list all the small automatic habits you have. Be as detailed as possible. Your morning routine might include turn off alarm, drink a glass of water, use the bathroom, brush your teeth, make coffee, check your phone, get dressed. Your workday routine might include start your computer, check your email, take a lunch break, close your laptop at the end of the day. Your evening routine might include walk in the door, take off your shoes, change out of your work clothes, make dinner, wash the dishes, watch television, brush your teeth, get into bed. This list is your menu of potential anchor points. Now, look at this list and think about the new movement habit you want to build, the one you discovered in your exploration phase. Where could it fit most naturally and with the least amount of friction? Let's brainstorm some powerful habit stacks for different lifestyles and goals. If you are a morning person and want to start your day with movement, after I turn off my alarm, I will immediately put on the workout clothes I laid out the night before. After I brush my teeth, I will go to my living room and do my 15-minute yoga video. After my first sip of coffee, I will do 20 bodyweight squats while I wait for it to cool down. If you are not a morning person and prefer to move in the afternoon or evening, immediately after I close my laptop for the day, I will change into my running shoes and go for a walk around the block. After I put my work bag down, I will immediately grab my gym bag that is already packed by the door. After I finish washing the dinner dishes, I will roll out my mat and do my 10-minute core routine. Let's get even more specific. If you work from home and struggle with afternoon slumps, after I finish my last bite of lunch, I will walk up and down the stairs 10 times. After I hang up from a long conference call, I will stand up and do 2 minutes of stretching at my desk. The key is to choose an anchor habit that happens at the time and in the location where you want your new habit to occur. It's no good stacking your running habit after you brush your teeth at night if you want to run in the morning. The cue needs to be reliable and contextually relevant. You also want to match the difficulty of the new habit to the context of the old one. Trying to stack a grueling 45-minute workout right after you wake up might be too much of a leap. But stacking put on my workout clothes after you wake up is a small, easy win that makes the next step, the workout itself, much more likely to happen. You can even create a chain of habit stacks. For example, after I wake up, I will put on my workout clothes. After I put on my workout clothes, I will drink a glass of water. After I drink a glass of water, I will walk out the door for my morning walk. Each small habit seamlessly triggers the next. I want you to take a moment right now to create your first habit stack. Pick one movement habit you want to install. It can be small. In fact, it should be small to start. Now pick a solid, reliable anchor habit from your daily routine. Now write down your habit stack formula. After current habit, I will new habit. This simple sentence is the first piece of structural steel in your new architecture. It is the beginning of automating your success. Our second architectural tool is learning to schedule your fitness like a chief executive officer. A CEO of a major company would never have a vague intention like, I hope to get to that important merger meeting this week. No, that meeting is in their calendar. It has a specific date, a specific time, and a specific location. It is a non-negotiable appointment. We need to start treating the commitments we make to our own health and well-being with that same level of importance and respect. Too often, we treat our workouts as the last priority on our to-do list. We try to find the time for them, hoping a magical gap will open up in our busy schedules. But that gap rarely appears. Life, work, family, and other people's priorities will always rush in to fill any unscheduled time. The paradigm shift you must make is to stop finding time and start making time. You are the CEO of your own life and your own health. You get to decide what goes in the calendar. This process is called time blocking. At the beginning of each week, perhaps on a Sunday evening, I want you to sit down with your calendar, whether it's a physical planner or a digital one. Look at the week ahead. Identify all your non-negotiable appointments, work hours, doctor's appointments, your kid's soccer game. Now, look at the open blocks of time. This is where you become the architect. Based on the joyful movement you discovered in Chapter 2, decide when and where you are going to move your body. And then you schedule it. You create an appointment, not a fuzzy note, but a hard entry in your calendar. Tuesday, 5:30 p.m., 6:15 p.m. Walk at the park. Thursday, 7:20 a.m., 7:20 a.m. At home strength routine. Saturday, 10 p.m., 11:30 a.m. Bike ride with the family. By putting it in the calendar, you have done several powerful things. You have transformed a vague wish into a concrete plan. You have forced yourself to think through the logistics. What do I need to do to make this happen? Do I need to pack a bag? Do I need to leave work on time? You have also created a powerful psychological commitment. That block of color on your calendar is a visual reminder of a promise you made to yourself. Now, the most important part, once that appointment is in your calendar, you must learn to defend it as fiercely as you would defend a meeting with your most important client. When a colleague asks if you can stay late on Tuesday, your default answer should not be, "Sure." Your answer should be, "I'm sorry, I have a commitment at 5:30. How about we connect tomorrow morning?" Notice you don't have to say what the commitment is. "I have a commitment" is a complete sentence. It's a commitment to yourself, to your health, to your sanity. And that is the most important commitment you will ever have. Of course, life is unpredictable. Sometimes you will have to move your appointment. A CEO sometimes has to reschedule a meeting, but they don't just cancel it and forget about it. They immediately look for the next available slot and reschedule it. You should do the same. If your Tuesday evening walk gets rained out, your first move should be to open your calendar and find a new home for it. Okay, I'll do a 20-minute indoor workout on Wednesday morning instead. The goal is not to be rigid and inflexible. The goal is to be resilient. The goal is to honor the commitment, even if the timing has to change. Many people will hear this and immediately say, "But I'm just too busy. There are no open blocks in my schedule." I understand this feeling. We live in a culture that glorifies being busy. But I want you to gently challenge this belief. Often, "I'm too busy" is a code for "it's not a priority." If your doctor told you that you had to walk for 30 minutes every day, or you would have a serious health problem, you would find those 30 minutes. You would find them because it would become a priority. I am asking you to make your well-being a priority now, before a doctor has to tell you to. And remember, we have escaped the all-or-nothing trap. Scheduling your movement doesn't mean you have to find a 90-minute block every day. Look for the small pockets of time. Can you find 15 minutes before you take a shower in the morning? Can you find 20 minutes during your lunch break? Can you find 10 minutes after you put the kids to bed? Everyone, and I mean everyone, can find 10 to 15 minutes in their day. Start there. Schedule that small block of time. Treat it like a vital meeting. Show up for it. The confidence and momentum you will build from keeping these small promises to yourself will be extraordinary. Now we have our third piece of the architecture, and it's a crucial one. It's the safety net that catches us when our perfectly laid plans go awry. It is the art of embracing the good enough workout. In Chapter 1, we talked about defeating the all-or-nothing mindset in principle. Here, we are operationalizing it as a core part of our system. Your system must have a pressure release valve. It must be designed to accommodate the messy reality of human life. The good enough workout is that valve. The primary goal of your system is not to achieve a perfect workout every single time. The primary goal is to maintain the habit. It is to not break the chain of consistency. On a good day, when you're feeling energetic and have plenty of time, you will do your scheduled ideal workout. You'll go for that 45-minute run or attend that hour-long class. But what about the bad days? The days you slept poorly, the days you have a looming deadline, the days you feel emotionally drained. On those days, the all-or-nothing voice will tell you to just skip it. It will say, "You can't do your proper workout, so there's no point. This is a lie." This is where your good enough workout saves you. A good enough workout is your predefined bare minimum routine that you can do on your absolute worst day. It should be short, simple, and require minimal activation energy. The goal of this workout is not to make huge fitness gains. The goal is purely psychological. It is to show up for yourself and cast a vote for your identity as a person who moves. It is to keep the momentum alive. I want you to define your good enough workouts right now for the activities you enjoy. What would this look like in practice? If you're a weightlifter, your ideal workout might be a 60-minute session at the gym. Your good enough workout might be 2 sets of push-ups and 2 sets of bodyweight squats at home. Total time, 5 minutes. If you are a runner, your ideal workout might be a 5-mile run. Your good enough workout might be put on your running shoes and walk around the block once. Total time, 10 minutes. If you love yoga, your ideal workout might be a 60-minute vinyasa class. Your good enough workout might be 3 sun salutations in your living room. Total time, 3 minutes. If you're a swimmer, your ideal workout might be 30 laps at the pool. Your good enough workout might be just showing up to the pool and getting in the water for 5 minutes. The key is to define these in advance. When you're having a terrible day, you don't have the mental energy to invent a new, shorter plan. You need to have your in-case of emergency break glass plan ready to go. By doing your good enough workout, you have achieved a massive victory. You have told the all-or-nothing voice to get lost. You have reinforced your habit loop. You have maintained your identity. And often, just like with the 5-minute rule, you will find that once you start your good enough workout, you feel a little better and decide to do a little more. But even if you don't, you have won the day. A good enough workout done today is infinitely better than the perfect workout you plan to do tomorrow. This brings us to our 4th and final architectural element, designing your environment for success. Humans are creatures of context. We like to think that our choices are the result of our willpower and motivation, but the truth is that our environment has an enormous influence on our behavior. The physical and social cues around us can either make our desired habits easier or harder. A brilliant architect doesn't just design a beautiful building, they consider how the building will be used and how its design will guide people's behavior. We are going to do the same for our personal environments. We are going to become choice architects. The core principle here is simple. We want to increase the friction for habits we want to avoid and decrease the friction for habits we want to build. Friction is the amount of effort required to do something. If your gym is a 30-minute drive away and you have to pack a complicated bag every time, there is a lot of friction involved in going. If your running shoes are buried in the back of your closet under a pile of other shoes, there is friction involved in getting ready for a run. Our goal is to systematically identify these points of friction and eliminate them. Let's break this down into 4 practical laws of behavior change, adapted from the work of James Clear. First, make it obvious. The cues that trigger your habits should be visible and unavoidable. You want to put your desired behavior front and center. If you want to remember to take your workout clothes to the office, don't just put "pack gym bag" on a to-do list. Pack the bag the night before and put it directly in front of the door you walk out of. You will literally have to trip over it to forget it. If you want to do yoga in the morning, roll out your yoga mat in the living room before you go to bed. When you wake up, it will be there, waiting for you. A silent invitation. If you want to eat healthier snacks, don't hide the fruit in a drawer in the fridge. Put a beautiful bowl of apples and bananas on the kitchen counter where you see it 100 times a day. You want to make your good intentions impossible to ignore. Second, make it attractive. Your brain is motivated by the anticipation of a reward. We can make our movement habits more attractive by bundling them with something we enjoy. This is a technique called temptation bundling. The formula is, I will only do the thing I love while I do the habit I am trying to build. For example, I will only listen to my favorite true crime podcast while I am out for my daily walk, or I will only watch my favorite guilty pleasure show on Netflix while I am on the stationary bike. This links the immediate gratification of the thing you enjoy with the long-term benefit of the exercise, making you actually look forward to it. Another way to make it attractive is to upgrade your environment or your gear. This doesn't mean you need to spend a lot of money, but buying one pair of workout leggings that make you feel amazing, or creating a high-energy workout playlist that gets you fired up, can provide that small hit of dopamine that makes you want to get started. Third, and this is the most critical one, make it easy. We have to reduce the friction between you and your habit to be as close to zero as possible. We've already talked about some ways to do this. Laying out your workout clothes the night before is a classic for a reason. It removes a handful of small decisions and steps when you are at your most tired. This is what I call being kind to your future self. Your morning self will thank your night before self for having everything ready. If you want to work out at home, create a dedicated space, even if it's just a small corner of a room. Have your weights, your mat, and your resistance bands all in one place, so you don't have to waste 10 minutes gathering your equipment. If you want to go to a gym, choose one that is on your direct route home from work, not one that requires you to go out of your way. Every extra step, every extra minute is a point of friction where you might give up. Your job is to smooth the path. Fourth, make it satisfying. For a habit to stick, your brain needs to feel an immediate reward after you do it. The problem with exercise is that many of the best rewards like weight loss or improved health are delayed. We need to create an immediate reward to close the habit loop. One of the most satisfying things you can do is to track your habit. Get a simple wall calendar and a big red marker. Every day that you complete your movement habit, even if it was just a good enough workout, you get to draw a big red X on that day. This simple act is surprisingly satisfying. Your goal is to not break the chain of X's. Seeing that visual evidence of your consistency is a powerful motivator. You could also create a post-workout ritual that you enjoy. Maybe it's a delicious protein smoothie that you only drink after you exercise. Maybe it's 10 minutes of guilt-free relaxation in a hot shower. This immediate reward signals to your brain, hey, when we do this movement thing, something good happens right away. We should do this again. By becoming a conscious architect of your life, you are stacking the deck in your own favor. You are no longer relying on being a disciplined person. You are creating a disciplined environment that makes follow-through almost automatic. Your habit stack tells you when to act. Your calendar tells you where it fits. Your good enough workout ensures you never fall off track. And your well-designed environment makes the entire process as seamless and frictionless as possible. This is the system. This is the structure you have built around your spark of joy. It is a structure of intention, preparation, and self-compassion. It is designed not for a perfect robot, but for a real, busy, and sometimes tired human being. It is a system that can bend without breaking. It can withstand the inevitable storms of life. You are no longer just hoping to be a person who is fit and active. You have built the systems that make you that person, one small, well-designed choice at a time. You are the architect of your own success. Now that the structure is built, our next step is to learn how to navigate it over the long haul. We need to learn how to handle the inevitable challenges, how to measure our progress in meaningful ways, and how to stay the course when the initial excitement wears off. It's time to become the navigator. Chapter 4. The Navigator. Overcoming the Inevitable Storms. Welcome to Chapter 4. If the first 3 chapters were about laying the foundation, drawing the blueprints, and building the beautiful structure of your new routine, this chapter is about learning how to live in it. It's about what happens after the initial construction is complete and the first storm rolls in. Because the storms will come. Life is not a calm, predictable sea. It is a dynamic, often turbulent ocean. There will be days of perfect sunshine and smooth sailing, but there will also be days of high winds, unexpected squalls, and thick fog. A brilliant architect can design the strongest ship in the world, but its true worth is only proven in a storm, and that ship is useless without a skilled navigator at the helm. A navigator understands the vessel, reads the weather, and knows how to adjust the sails. They don't panic when the waves get high. They trust their ship, they trust their training, and they know that the storm will eventually pass. This chapter is your navigator's training manual. It is your guide to steering your new practice through the inevitable challenges that derail so many well-intentioned people. Up to this point, you might be riding a wonderful wave of enthusiasm. Trying new things is exciting. Building a new system feels empowering, but that initial surge of motivation, as wonderful as it is, will not last forever. Life will get in the way. You will get sick. You will travel. You will have weeks where your boss or your family demands every ounce of your energy. You will have days where you just don't feel like it. These are not signs of failure, they are simply signs of life. They are the tests that, when navigated successfully, will forge your new habit from a brittle idea into an unbreakable part of your character. In this chapter, we are going to get brutally honest and intensely practical. We will confront the myth of motivation and replace it with the reliable power of discipline and identity. We will create a detailed emergency plan for when life throws you a curveball ensuring that a small disruption never turns into a complete derailment. We will learn the crucial, body-honoring skill of distinguishing between the good pain of progress and the bad pain of potential injury. And finally, we will completely revolutionize the way you measure success, freeing you from the tyranny of the bathroom scale and opening your eyes to the myriad of incredible ways your life is improving. This is the chapter that will make your routine truly sustainable. It's where you learn to be resilient. It's where you learn to be your own compassionate coach, not a harsh drill sergeant. So, take your place at the helm. Let's learn how to navigate. Let's begin by tackling the biggest, most misunderstood concept in all of personal development: motivation. We have been taught to worship at the altar of motivation. We wait for it to strike like lightning before we begin. We watch motivational videos and listen to inspiring speeches, hoping to fill up some internal tank with the fuel of feeling like it. And when that feeling disappears, we feel lost. We think something is wrong with us. We say things like, "I've just lost my motivation," as if it were a set of car keys we've misplaced. I want to offer you a new and liberating truth. Motivation is not a fuel tank. It is not a reliable resource. Motivation is the weather. It is a passing condition. Some days will be sunny and warm, filled with the energy and desire to get out and move. Those are your high motivation days. Cherish them. Use that energy. But other days will be cold, gray, and rainy. On those days, you will feel zero desire to do anything. These are your low motivation days, and they are just as normal and predictable as the sunny ones. A wise farmer does not only work on the sunny days. If they did, their crops would fail. They have a system. They have a schedule. They know what needs to be done regardless of the weather. They show up because they are a farmer, and that is what farmers do. You must stop waiting for the motivational weather to be perfect. You must learn to show up regardless of the forecast, because you are building the identity of a person who moves. Your system, the architecture we built in the last chapter, is your all-weather vehicle. Your schedule, your habit stacks, your pre-planned good enough workouts, these are the tools that get you from point A to point B when the emotional weather is terrible. Why does motivation fade? It's a natural process of the human brain called hedonic adaptation. When something is new and novel, like a new workout routine, our brain releases a rush of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. It's exciting, but as that new activity becomes familiar, the dopamine response diminishes. The novelty wears off. This is not a sign that you have chosen the wrong activity or that you are a failure. It is simply a sign that your brain is working normally. It is adapting. The initial in-love phase of your new routine is over, and now it is time to build a committed, long-term relationship. So, what do you do on those gray, rainy, low-motivation days? You do not try to get motivated. That is an exhausting and often fruitless battle. Instead, you rely on your system and you focus on your identity. Let's break that down. First, relying on your system. This is where your work from Chapter 3 pays off. On a low-motivation day, you do not consult your feelings. Consulting your feelings is a terrible strategy because your feelings will always vote for the couch. Instead, you consult your plan. You look at your calendar. It says, Tuesday, 7 a.m., 20-minute walk. You have your habit stack. After I brush my teeth, I will put on my walking shoes. You have already laid out your clothes the night before. You have removed as much friction as possible. Your job on this day is not to feel like it. Your job is simply to execute the next small step in the plan. Just put on the shoes. That's it. You don't have to think about the whole walk. You just have to win the battle of the shoes. More often than not, once the shoes are on, the rest of the plan will unfold. You put your system on autopilot and let it carry you. Second, focusing on your identity. This is a deeper, more powerful strategy. A habit that is tied to your identity is infinitely more durable than one that is tied to a superficial goal. If your goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds, then every day you don't see a change on the scale feels like a failure and your motivation plummets. But if you shift your identity to, I am the type of person who takes care of my body, or I am a person who doesn't miss workouts, the entire game changes. Your actions are a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every time you show up on a low motivation day, you are casting a powerful vote for this new identity. Going for a walk when you don't feel like it sends a stronger signal to your subconscious mind than going for a walk on a day you are bursting with energy. On the easy days, you are just enjoying the ride. On the hard days, you are forging your character. You are proving to yourself on a deep level who you are. So when that voice in your head says, "I don't feel like it," your response should not be to argue with it. Your response should be, "You're right, I don't feel like it." But it doesn't matter. This is what we do on Tuesdays. This is who we are. This is the essence of discipline. Discipline is not about being a tough, unfeeling robot. Discipline is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most. What you want now is the comfort of the couch. What you want most is to be a healthy, vibrant, confident person who can rely on themselves. Discipline is simply the act of honoring the commitment you made to your future self. A practical tool for these low motivation days is to shrink the target. Use your good enough workout as your go-to. Give yourself permission to do the absolute bare minimum. Tell yourself, "I'm just going to do my 5-minute routine." This makes the task seem so small and manageable that your brain's resistance weakens. And as we've discussed, the magic often happens once you start. But even if it doesn't, even if you only do the 5 minutes, you have won. You have cast your vote. You have maintained your identity. You have honored your system. And you have lived to fight another day without the baggage of guilt that comes from doing nothing at all. Riding the motivation wave isn't about learning to surf perfectly. It's about learning to paddle and stay afloat when the waves are gone. Now let's move from the internal storms of motivation to the external storms of life. There will be times when, through no fault of your own, your beautifully designed routine gets completely disrupted. You get the flu and can barely get out of bed for 3 days. You have to travel for a week for a high-stakes work conference. You go on a 2-week family vacation. A family emergency pulls you away from everything. These are not minor dips in motivation. These are major life events that can completely knock you off your tracks. This is where most people's fitness journeys end. A week off becomes a month off, which becomes a year off, all because they didn't have a plan for the disruption. We are going to be different. We are going to have a life happens emergency plan. A good emergency plan is created in advance when you are calm and clear-headed. You don't try to figure out the fire escape route when the building is already on fire. You learn it beforehand. We are going to create your personalized plans for 3 common scenarios: illness, travel, and an overwhelmingly busy week. Let's start with illness. Getting sick is a part of life. And when it happens, many of us fall into one of 2 traps. The first trap is the all-or-nothing trap, where we think, "I'm sick, I can't do my workout, so I'm a failure." The second trap is the no pain, no gain trap, where we try to push through the illness, which can prolong our recovery and make us even sicker. The balanced, intelligent approach lies in the middle. Your guiding principle when you are sick is this: rest is a productive and essential part of your fitness journey. Your body cannot heal and adapt and get stronger without adequate rest. Forcing a sick body to exercise is like trying to drive a car with an empty gas tank and 3 flat tires. You won't get far, and you'll do more damage in the process. A helpful rule of thumb used by many athletes is the neck check. If your symptoms are all above the neck, things like a runny nose, a mild sore throat, or sneezing, it is generally considered safe to engage in light to moderate physical activity. A gentle walk, some light stretching, or a slow-paced yoga session might even make you feel a little better by getting your blood flowing. However, you should reduce the intensity and duration of whatever you do. This is not the day to set a new personal record. If your symptoms are below the neck, such as chest congestion, a hacking cough, fever, body aches, or stomach issues, then exercise is off the table. Full stop. Your body is using all of its energy to fight off the infection, and placing the additional stress of a workout on it is counterproductive and potentially dangerous. In this case, your workout for the day is rest. It is hydration. It is sleep. You should track this in your journal with the same sense of accomplishment as a workout. Today's workout: 8 hours of sleep and 10 glasses of water to help my body heal. You are still being a person who takes care of their body. The most important part of the plan is how you return after the illness. Be gentle with yourself. Don't expect to jump right back in at the same intensity you were at before. Your first 1 or 2 sessions back should be at about 50% of your normal effort level. See how your body responds. Gradually, over the course of a week, you can ramp back up to your normal routine. The key is to return without shame or guilt. You didn't fail, you recovered. That is a victory. Next, let's plan for travel. Traveling can wreak havoc on a routine. You're out of your normal environment, your schedule is different, and you may not have access to your usual equipment or space. Without a plan, it's easy for a week of travel to completely erase a month of progress. Not physically, but habitually. Your travel fitness plan should be built on 2 principles: flexibility and minimalism. First, redefine what a workout looks like while you travel. Your workout might be the act of exploring a new city on foot for 2 hours. It might be choosing to take the stairs in your hotel instead of the elevator. It might be swimming in the hotel pool or the ocean. Look for opportunities for movement that are integrated into the travel experience itself. Second, have a go-to zero-equipment hotel room workout in your back pocket. This is your minimum viable workout for travel. It should be something you can do in a small space in 10 to 15 minutes. A great example would be a simple circuit you repeat 3 times. 40 seconds of jumping jacks, 20 seconds of rest. 40 seconds of bodyweight squats, 20 seconds of rest. 40 seconds of push-ups on your knees or against the desk, 20 seconds of rest. 40 seconds of a plank, 20 seconds of rest. This entire circuit takes 4 minutes. Do it 3 times and you have a fantastic full-body workout in just 12 minutes. A resistance band is a traveler's best friend. It weighs almost nothing, takes up no space in your luggage, and allows you to perform dozens of strength training exercises for your entire body. Packing a resistance band is a great way to ensure you can get a quality workout in anywhere in the world. The goal of your travel plan is not to perfectly replicate your at-home routine. The goal is to keep the thread of the habit alive, to keep sending that signal to your brain that this is part of who you are, no matter where you are. Finally, let's plan for the overwhelmingly busy week. This is when work explodes, or you have a family crisis, or you're just stretched to your absolute limit. On these weeks, the thought of your scheduled 1-hour workout can feel so overwhelming that you do nothing at all. This is where your system of good enough and your knowledge of neat become your saving grace. During a crisis week, you officially give yourself permission to abandon your ideal workout plan. You switch to maintenance mode. Your entire focus is on 2 things: doing your absolute bare minimum good enough workout and intentionally increasing your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Maybe your good enough workout is just 5 minutes of stretching when you wake up and 5 minutes of bodyweight squats before bed. That's 10 minutes a day. You can do that. Then you focus on NEAT. You park at the farthest spot in the parking lot. You take the stairs every single time. You set a timer to stand up from your desk every 30 minutes. You pace around your house while you're on the phone. You are greasing the groove, as the saying goes. You are peppering your day with small bursts of movement. You may not feel like you are working out, but you are accumulating a significant amount of activity, and more importantly, you are keeping the habit of movement alive in your mind. This maintenance mode strategy prevents an overwhelming week from breaking your consistency chain. It allows you to weather the storm and then seamlessly return to your normal routine once the crisis has passed. The common thread through all these emergency plans is self-compassion. It's about replacing the rigid, judgmental drill sergeant in your head with a wise, flexible, and encouraging coach. A good coach knows when to push you and when to tell you to rest. Learning to be that coach for yourself is one of the most important skills you will ever develop. This brings us to our third navigator's skill, learning to interpret the signals your body is sending you. You need to become an expert in the language of your own body, and one of the most important dialects to learn is the difference between good pain and bad pain. The old mantra of no pain, no gain is not only outdated, it's dangerous. It has led countless people to push through warning signs, resulting in injuries that can sideline them for weeks or even months, completely destroying their hard-won momentum. A sustainable practice is a safe practice, and a safe practice requires you to listen to your body with respect. Let's start by defining Good pain. The most common type of good pain is delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS. This is the dull, achy and tender feeling in your muscles that typically appears 24 to 48 hours after a workout, especially a workout that is new to you or more intense than usual. What is happening on a microscopic level is that you have created tiny tears in your muscle fibers. This sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing. It is the stimulus that signals your body to repair those fibers and rebuild them stronger and more resilient than before. This is how you get stronger. The key characteristics of DOMS are that it is a diffuse, dull ache over a large area of a muscle, not a sharp pain in a specific spot. The muscle might feel tender to the touch and stiff, especially in the morning. Crucially, the soreness tends to feel better with some light movement and stretching. A gentle walk or some dynamic stretches can help to increase blood flow to the area and ease the discomfort. DOMS is a sign of progress. It's a sign that you have challenged your body in a new way. It's something to be acknowledged, not feared. However, if you are so sore that it is difficult to perform your normal daily activities, it's a sign that you probably overdid it a bit, and you should scale back the intensity in your next session. Now let's define bad pain. Bad pain is your body's alarm system. It is a bright red flashing light telling you to stop what you are doing immediately. Ignoring this signal is like putting a piece of tape over your car's check engine light and hoping the problem goes away. It won't. It will only get worse. Bad pain has very different characteristics from DOMS. It is often sharp, stabbing, shooting, or burning. It is typically located in a very specific, pinpointed spot, rather than over a whole muscle belly. Very importantly, bad pain is often felt in or around a joint, your knees, elbows, shoulders, hips, or lower back. Unlike DOMS, bad pain usually gets worse with movement. If you feel a sharp pain in your knee every time you do a lunge, that is bad pain. If you feel a pinching sensation in your shoulder when you lift something overhead, that is bad pain. So, what is your action plan when you feel bad pain? It is incredibly simple. You stop. You do not finish the set. You do not finish the workout. You stop the movement that is causing the pain immediately. Pushing through it is the absolute worst thing you can do. After you stop, you assess. A good first line of defense for acute pain and inflammation is the RICE method. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Rest the injured area. Apply ice for 15 to 20 minutes at a time, several times a day, to help reduce swelling. Use a compression bandage if appropriate, and elevate the limb above your heart if possible. If the pain is severe or if it doesn't improve after a couple of days of rest, it is time to see a professional, like a doctor or a physical therapist. Do not let your ego get in the way of seeking help. Getting a proper diagnosis and treatment plan early can be the difference between a minor setback and a chronic, long-term problem. The best way to deal with bad pain, of course, is to prevent it from happening in the first place. And the number one cause of bad pain and injury is improper form. When you perform an exercise with incorrect technique, you put stress on joints, ligaments, and tendons that are not designed to handle that load. I cannot overstate the importance of learning proper form for any new exercise you try. Thankfully, we live in an age of incredible resources. You can find high-quality video tutorials on YouTube for almost any exercise imaginable. Watch several videos from reputable trainers. Watch them in slow motion. Record yourself doing the exercise and compare your form to the video. An even better option, if it's accessible to you, is to invest in even a single session with a qualified personal trainer. The cost of one session to learn the correct form for 5 or 6 foundational exercises is a tiny price to pay to avoid months of pain and physical therapy bills down the road. Learning to distinguish good pain from bad pain is a skill. It develops over time as you build a stronger connection with your body. It is a dialogue. DOMS is your body saying, "Wow, that was a good challenge. I'll get to work on making us stronger." Bad pain is your body screaming, "Stop, you are hurting me." A wise navigator listens to both messages and adjusts their course accordingly. This brings us to the final and perhaps most liberating part of our navigator's training. We must completely overhaul the way we measure progress. For far too long, we have allowed one single, notoriously unreliable, and often psychologically damaging tool to be the sole arbiter of our success: the bathroom scale. We step on it every morning, holding our breath, and allow the 3-digit number that flashes back at us to determine our mood for the entire day. If the number is down, we feel a fleeting sense of victory. If the number is up, or has not changed, we feel like a complete failure, and all our hard work feels like it was for nothing. This is a form of self-torture, and it has to stop. The number on the scale is one of the worst possible metrics for tracking the progress of your fitness journey. Why? First, it fluctuates wildly from day to day based on factors that have nothing to do with your actual body fat. Your weight can change by several pounds in a single day due to your hydration level, how much salt you ate, your carbohydrate intake, as carbs store water, and for women, the stage of their menstrual cycle. Stepping on the scale is often just measuring your body's water content, not your progress. Second, the scale tells you nothing about your body composition. As you begin strength training, you will be building lean muscle tissue. Muscle is far more dense than fat, meaning that a pound of muscle takes up significantly less space than a pound of fat. It is entirely possible, and in fact very common, to be losing inches from your waist and having your clothes fit better, while the number on the scale stays the same or even goes up slightly. If you are only using the scale, you would interpret this incredible progress as failure, which is tragically ironic. The scale cannot distinguish between fat loss and muscle gain, which are two very different things. So, if we are going to dethrone the scale, what do we replace it with? We replace it with a rich, multi-dimensional and empowering set of metrics that I call non-scale victories, or NSVs. These are the real, tangible signs that your life is getting better as a result of your movement practice. These are the victories that truly matter. I want you to start actively looking for these and logging them in your journal. Create a victory log. Every week, write down at least one NSV you noticed. This practice trains your brain to see the real evidence of your success. Let's create a comprehensive menu of NSVs you can start tracking today. First, let's look at performance and physical victories. These are the tangible improvements in what your body can do. Did you hold a plank for 10 seconds longer than last week? Did you complete your walk a minute faster without trying? Did you use a slightly heavier dumbbell for your biceps curls? Were you able to do a push-up on your knees instead of against the wall? Did you touch your toes for the first time in years? Did you notice your balance was better while you were putting on your shoes? These are all concrete data points that prove you are getting stronger and fitter, regardless of what the scale says. Next, we have energy and daily life victories. This is where the ripple effect really starts to show. Did you wake up feeling refreshed before your alarm went off? Did you get through that 3 p.m. afternoon slump without needing a third cup of coffee? Did you carry all the groceries into the house in one trip and it felt surprisingly easy? Did you play with your kids or grandkids at the park and found you weren't out of breath? Did you have to tighten the belt on your favorite pair of pants by 1 notch? Did you catch a glimpse of yourself in a reflection and notice you were standing up taller with better posture? These are the moments you realize your fitness isn't just happening during your workout, it's enhancing your entire life. Then there are the mental and emotional victories. These are often the most profound. Did you have a stressful day at work, but your evening walk completely melted the tension away? Are you noticing that you are sleeping more deeply and soundly through the night? Do you feel a general sense of being in a better, more stable mood? Do you find yourself handling difficult situations with a bit more patience and resilience? Do you feel a quiet, growing sense of pride and self-respect for keeping the promises you've made to yourself? Do you feel more comfortable and at home in your own skin? This is the deep magic of movement. It reshapes your mind just as much as it reshapes your body. Finally, for those who track them, there are health marker victories. Has your blood pressure gone down a few points? Have your cholesterol or blood sugar levels improved at your last checkup? Has your resting heart rate decreased, a sign of a stronger, more efficient cardiovascular system? These are the internal victories that prove you are building a foundation of true, lasting health from the inside out. When you start tracking these non-scale victories, your entire perspective shifts. You stop chasing a number and you start appreciating a feeling. You stop focusing on what you've lost and you start celebrating what you have gained. Strength, energy, confidence, resilience, and joy. This is how you build a practice that is intrinsically motivating. The reward is not some distant number on a scale. The reward is the undeniable day-to-day improvement in the quality of your life. You are now a trained navigator. You understand that motivation is just weather, and you have the systems to sail through any forecast. You have a detailed emergency plan for the inevitable storms of life, allowing you to bend without breaking. You have learned the crucial language of your body, distinguishing the helpful feedback of good pain from the urgent warnings of bad pain. And you have thrown the old broken compass of the scale overboard, replacing it with a constellation of meaningful, empowering stars to guide you. You are no longer just a passenger on your fitness journey. You are the captain. You are the navigator. And now, it is time to explore the incredible destinations this journey will take you. It's time to see the ripple effect. Chapter 5. The ripple effect. How movement transforms everything. We have come a long way together on this journey. We began by reframing our entire relationship with fitness, dismantling the toxic belief that it must be a punishment, and rebuilding on a new foundation of joy and self-compassion. We became explorers, discovering forms of movement that genuinely light us up. We then became architects, designing robust, intelligent systems to integrate that movement into the fabric of our lives. And in the last chapter, we became skilled navigators, learning to steer our practice through the inevitable storms of life. We have done the hard, practical work of building a sustainable routine. Now, in this final chapter, we get to zoom out. We get to look beyond the how and truly appreciate the why. We are going to explore the profound and often surprising ways that this consistent practice of movement ripples out from the gym, the park, or the yoga mat, and transforms every other aspect of your existence. This journey was never just about losing weight or building muscle. Those are simply side effects. The true purpose of this journey is to use movement as a powerful tool to upgrade your entire operating system to build a more vibrant, energetic, confident, and joyful life. A single stone tossed into a still pond creates ripples that spread out to touch every corner of the shore. In the same way, the single act of consistently moving your body creates a powerful ripple effect that will touch your mind, your emotions, your relationships, your work, and your very sense of self. It is a keystone habit, a habit that, once established, sets off a chain reaction of other positive changes in your life without you even trying. In this chapter, we will delve into the incredible science of how movement acts as the ultimate brain hack, literally reshaping your mind for the better. We will explore the deep, unshakable confidence that is forged not in the mirror, but in the simple act of keeping promises to yourself. We will unravel the beautiful paradox of energy, discovering how spending energy through movement actually creates more energy for everything else you want to do. And finally, we will bring our journey to a close by embracing the philosophy of a lifelong practice, one that evolves and grows with you through every season of your life. This is the celebration. This is the payoff. This is the moment you realize that the small daily deposits you have been making in your physical health have been compounding into a fortune of well-being that will enrich every moment of your life. So let's explore the magnificent ripple effect. Let's begin with perhaps the most exciting and well-documented ripple of all. The fact that moving your body is the single most powerful thing you can do to optimize, protect, and enhance your brain. We often think of exercise as something we do for our bodies from the neck down. But the reality is, your brain is the organ that benefits most directly and profoundly from physical activity. If there were a pill that could improve your mood, sharpen your memory, increase your focus, spark your creativity, and protect you from cognitive decline, it would be the best-selling drug of all time. That pill exists. It's called exercise. Let's look under the hood and understand what's happening in your brain when you move. We'll start with the immediate effects you can feel right away. You've probably heard of the runner's high. This feeling of euphoria is often attributed to endorphins. Endorphins are a group of chemicals produced by your body that are structurally similar to opioid drugs. They are your body's natural painkillers and mood elevators. When you engage in sustained, moderately intense exercise, your brain releases these endorphins, creating a feeling of well-being and reducing your perception of pain. This is a real physiological effect. It's your brain rewarding you for the effort you've put in. But the story gets so much richer than just endorphins. Exercise also triggers a cascade of powerful neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that govern how you think and feel. When you move, your brain increases the production and release of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Let's break those down. Serotonin is a key regulator of mood, sleep, and appetite. Many antidepressant medications work by increasing the availability of serotonin in the brain. Exercise does this naturally. Dopamine is crucial for your motivation, focus, and your brain's reward system. That feeling of satisfaction after a good workout? That's dopamine at work, reinforcing the behavior and making you want to do it again. Norepinephrine is vital for attention and alertness. It helps you to focus your mind and engage with the world. So a single workout session is like a natural, perfectly balanced neurochemical cocktail that leaves you feeling calmer, happier, more focused, and more motivated. This is why a walk in the middle of a stressful workday can feel like a complete reset button for your brain. These immediate feel-good effects are wonderful, but the long-term effects of consistent exercise on the brain are even more staggering. And the superstar of this story is a molecule with a remarkable name, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember BDNF. Neuroscientist John Ratey, in his groundbreaking book Spark, famously calls BDNF "miracle grow for the brain," and it is the perfect analogy. BDNF is a protein that plays a critical role in the life cycle of your neurons, which are your brain cells. It helps existing neurons to survive and stay healthy. It encourages the growth of new neurons, a process called neurogenesis, and it supports the formation of new synapses, which are the connections between your neurons. Think of your brain as a dense, interconnected city of roads. BDNF is the construction crew that builds new roads, strengthens existing bridges, and repairs potholes, making the whole city run more efficiently. What is the most powerful stimulus for the production of BDNF? You guessed it, physical exercise. When you exercise, especially aerobic exercise that gets your heart rate up, you are flooding your brain with BDNF. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that with every workout you are literally building a better brain. Studies have shown that people who exercise regularly have better memory, faster learning capabilities, and enhanced creativity. This is not just a subjective feeling, it's a structural change. Research using brain imaging has demonstrated that regular aerobic exercise can actually increase the size of the hippocampus, a part of the brain that is absolutely vital for learning and memory. In an age where we are all concerned about cognitive decline and diseases like Alzheimer's, exercise stands out as the single most effective preventative measure we can take to protect our brain health for the long haul. Furthermore, exercise is a potent antidote to the chronic stress that plagues modern life. When you are stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In short bursts, these are helpful for survival. But when you are in a state of chronic low-grade stress from work and life, these hormones can be toxic to your brain, actually killing off neurons in the hippocampus. Exercise helps to regulate your body's stress response system. The acute physical stress of a workout teaches your body to more efficiently handle and recover from stress of all kinds. It helps to flush cortisol out of your system and makes your brain more resilient to the effects of future stress. So when you choose to go for that walk or do that strength routine, I want you to reframe what you are doing. You are not just exercising your body, you are tending to the garden of your mind. You are building a bigger, faster, stronger, and more resilient brain. You are investing in your own mental clarity, your creativity, and your long-term cognitive health. This is the first and most powerful ripple, and its effects will be felt in every thought you have and every decision you make. The second ripple flows directly from the first. As you build a stronger mind and a more capable body, something incredible begins to grow, a deep, authentic, and unshakable confidence. This is not the loud, arrogant confidence of ego. This is the quiet, solid confidence of self-trust. It is a confidence that is not based on what you look like in the mirror, what other people think of you, or the number on the scale. It is a confidence that is forged in the fire of kept promises. Every single time you show up for a workout you scheduled, you're doing more than just moving your body. You are keeping a promise to yourself. Think about your relationships with other people. How do you build trust? You build it by being reliable. You build it by doing what you say you are going to do. If you have a friend who consistently shows up when they say they will, you trust them. If you have a friend who constantly makes plans and then cancels at the last minute, your trust in them erodes. Your relationship with yourself works in exactly the same way. For many of us, this internal relationship is in shambles. We have made and broken thousands of promises to ourselves over the years. This is the year I'll get in shape. Starting Monday, I'll eat healthier. I'm going to wake up early to exercise. Every time we break one of these promises, we chip away at our own self-trust and self-respect. We learn on a subconscious level that our word to ourselves doesn't mean very much. When you follow the systems we built in this book, you are reversing this process. Every habit stack you complete, every appointment with yourself you honor, every good enough workout you do on a tough day is a deposit in your self-trust bank account. At first, the deposits are small, but they compound. Over weeks and months, you are building a massive reserve of self-respect. You are learning, perhaps for the first time, that you are a person who does what they say they will do. You are becoming your own most reliable friend. This quiet internal integrity is the true source of all lasting confidence. This newfound confidence then begins to ripple out into every other area of your life. The psychologist Albert Bandura called this concept self-efficacy, which is your belief in your own ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish a task. When you consistently overcome the physical challenge of a workout and the mental challenge of showing up, you are building your self-efficacy muscle. Your brain starts to learn, hey, I can do hard things. When I set my mind to something and follow a plan, I can achieve it. This belief doesn't stay confined to your fitness. It bleeds over. You might find yourself speaking up in a work meeting with a new sense of authority. You might find the courage to ask for that raise or promotion you deserve. You might find it easier to set healthy boundaries in your relationships, saying no to things that drain you. You might decide to finally pursue that creative project you've been putting off for years. You are no longer just a person who works out. You are a person who has proven to themselves that they are capable of discipline, resilience, and growth. And that identity will change how you approach every challenge and opportunity life throws at you. Furthermore, this journey fundamentally changes your relationship with your body, shifting it from an aesthetic object to be judged to a functional instrument to be appreciated. When your focus is on what your body can do, its appearance becomes secondary. The joy you feel when you lift a weight you couldn't lift last month, or when you hike to a beautiful viewpoint that would have been impossible a year ago, is so much more profound and lasting than the fleeting satisfaction of seeing a slightly smaller number on the scale. You start to see your body as your partner, your vehicle for experiencing the world. This functional pride builds a kind of confidence that is immune to the impossible beauty standards of the world. It is a confidence that comes from within, a confidence in motion. This leads us to the third powerful ripple, which is the beautiful and seemingly magical energy paradox. The single most common excuse people give for not exercising is, "I'm just too tired." And on the surface, it makes perfect sense. Exercise expends energy. So if you're already tired, the last thing you should do is expend more, right? It's a logical conclusion, but it is completely wrong. The truth, which is one of the most life-changing secrets of a healthy life, is this. Spending energy through consistent, moderate movement creates more energy. Let's unravel this paradox. How is it possible that giving away energy results in having more of it? The answer lies in how your body adapts to the demands you place upon it. First, let's go down to the cellular level. Inside almost every cell in your body are tiny little power plants called mitochondria. Their job is to take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe and convert them into ATP, the chemical that is the primary energy currency of your cells. When you live a sedentary life, your body is very efficient. It thinks, we don't need much energy, so it doesn't bother to maintain a large number of high-functioning mitochondria. This leaves you with a low energy ceiling. But when you start exercising regularly, you are sending a powerful signal to your body. You are saying, hey, we have new energy demands. We need more power. In response to this signal, your body does something amazing. It starts to create more mitochondria within your cells, a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. It also makes the existing mitochondria more efficient at producing energy. So by consistently exercising, you are literally building more power plants inside your body. You are permanently increasing your capacity to produce energy, which is why you start to feel more energetic, not just during your workouts, but all day long. Second, exercise dramatically improves your cardiovascular system. Your heart is a muscle. When you exercise it, it gets stronger. A stronger heart can pump more blood with each beat. This means your body can deliver oxygen and vital nutrients to all your tissues, including your brain, much more efficiently. Improved circulation is like upgrading the entire logistics and delivery system of your body. It fights off feelings of fatigue and makes you feel more alert and alive. Third, as we've already touched upon, exercise significantly improves the quality of your sleep. Many people who feel tired all the time are actually suffering from poor quality sleep, even if they are in bed for 8 hours. Regular physical activity, particularly in the morning or afternoon, has been shown to increase the amount of time you spend in deep sleep. Deep sleep is the most restorative phase, where your body does most of its repair work and your brain consolidates memories. By helping you sleep more soundly, exercise ensures that you wake up truly recharged and ready to tackle the day. Better sleep directly translates to more daytime energy. Think of it like this. Relying on stimulants like sugar or caffeine to get through your day is like taking out a high-interest loan on your energy. You get a short-term boost, but you end up in a deeper energy deficit later on. Exercise, on the other hand, is like making a wise investment. You spend a little bit of energy capital up front, and in return, your body builds a bigger, more efficient energy-producing factory that pays you dividends of vitality for the rest of your life. This is the energy paradox, and once you experience it, once you realize that a 20-minute walk is more energizing than a 20-minute nap, you will have unlocked one of the greatest secrets to a vibrant and productive life. This brings us to the end of our book, but to the true beginning of your journey. We have reframed, explored, architected, and learned to navigate. We have seen the incredible ripples that this practice will create in our lives. The final piece of the puzzle is to embrace the philosophy that will make this practice last a lifetime. This is your journey, at your pace, forever. The most important thing to remember is that there is no finish line. Health and fitness are not a destination you arrive at, where you get to plant a flag and say, "I'm done." There is no graduation day. It is a practice, like meditation or playing a musical instrument. It is something you do, a part of who you are, a constant and evolving dance you will have with yourself for the rest of your life. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be persistent. The goal is to just keep showing up in whatever form that takes. Your practice will and should change as your seasons of life change. The joyful movement you love in your 20s might not be the same one you love in your 40s or your 60s. A passion for high-intensity training might mellow into a love for long walks and gentle yoga. An injury might force you to switch from running to swimming. Having young children might shift your routine from the gym to 15-minute workouts in your living room. This is not a failure, this is adaptation, this is wisdom. The principles you have learned in this book, to find the joy, to be consistent, to listen to your body, and to be compassionate with yourself. These are the constants. The specific activities are the variables. Hold tightly to the principles, but hold loosely to the methods. There will be weeks, maybe even months, when you fall off the wagon. This is a terrible metaphor because it implies you are stranded in a ditch somewhere. A better metaphor is that you simply took a detour. The path is always still there, waiting for you to step back on. There is no shame in a detour. The only mistake is to believe that a detour means your journey is over. It is never over. You can always begin again right now with the next small choice. Take a walk, do 5 squats, put on your favorite song and dance. The path is always just one step away. This journey you have embarked upon is one of the greatest acts of self-love you will ever undertake. It is a commitment to showing up for yourself, to honoring the incredible gift of your body and mind. It is a practice that will give you back far more than you put in the form of energy, confidence, and peace. You now have the map. You have the tools. You understand the principles. You know that the secret was never in a punishing routine but in a joyful and sustainable practice. The person you are becoming, the person with more energy, more resilience, and a deeper sense of self-trust, is not some distant future self. It is the person you are becoming with every walk you take, with every promise you keep, with every single conscious choice to move and care for the one and only body you will ever have. The journey is yours, the pace is yours, and the rewards will be with you forever. Thank you for spending this time with me. This conversation doesn't have to end here. The principles we've discussed about building positive, sustainable habits and creating a life filled with more energy and joy are things we explore every week. If you'd like to continue the journey with us, you can find more at the AudioWaves channel. Let's keep building together.